Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my Sanctuary Reflections, life lessons learned from the soaps, guys. You can reinvent yourself. I was thinking about this last week. Before I even ever post these videos, I always have to organize a message in my mind over time. But I was thinking last week about Stefano DiMera. The Phoenix has risen. Stefano has reincarnated so many different times in Days of Our Lives, it's not even funny. He's reincarnated Tony DiMera, Renee Dumont when he was in Sarah's mind, Megan Hathaway, EJ, the microchip. And I know you're saying how he reincarnated as his children, but he did. The spirit of Stefano is still alive. Or when he came back as Stefan O. DiMera. To me, these are all reincarnations of Stefano. This is the writer's subtle way of telling us that Stefano cannot die. You cannot kill Stefano. Even though Joseph Moscalo is no longer physically here with us since he transitioned, you still can't kill the character of Stefano. Every time something happens in the DiMera family, they're like, who was it? Is it maybe Stefano? Is he still alive? Because Stefano technically never really died on Days. He was seen in a jail, I think, with Shane Donovan somewhere in another country, and it was like he was on the run. And that was how they concluded Stefano's thing, which was perfect. But every time a new DiMera has come, they've all said the phrase, the Phoenix has risen. Chad said it. EJ said it. Megan said it. When Sarah thought she was Renee Dumont, she said it. I think Dimitri might have said it at one point in time too. Kristen said it. Tony said it. Andre said it. They've all said it, except for Lexi. I don't think Lexi said it. They're all incarnations of Stefano. When Stefano came back as a microchip of Steve Brain, he's still in that incarnation. But you can always reinvent yourself. You never have to stay always where you're at. Soaps teach us that because characters don't always stay the same. Even if you're in a relationship with someone, you don't stay the same person forever and ever. That's why some people are looking for a protector and a provider. But sometimes that person, after a while, he or she will need some protecting and some providing for, okay? Things change over time, right? We always reinvent ourselves. There are some things that stay constant. Like for in relationships, you have to ask yourself, okay, can this quality work for me in the long run? Whether or not someone watches soaps is not going to tell me if this is going to be someone who's a long-term partner. That just doesn't tell me that. Whether or not you watch soaps you love. So I can't build a family off of your love of soaps. I can't. I'm just keeping it for real. I can't. But what I can is based off your values and what it is that you value. Values usually don't change. Values usually don't change. Likes and all that stuff usually do, but values usually don't change. But you can always reinvent yourself. I'm seeing people who are in their 60s going back to school. I remember years ago when I used to work as a CNA at this facility. This lady was in her 60s and she was gushing about how she found love again. It's very possible. Growing up young, I was gonna say growing up hip hop, but growing up gay, I guess you want to say, I didn't have no role models. I didn't have nobody to look forward to. There was no reference point for me to see how life could really look for somebody like myself. I had to imagine it on my own. I'm one day this is gonna happen for me. And if I don't see it, I'll make it happen. I'll be my own reference point. And that has helped me to this point till today. Now, I understand representation is really important to some people or on soaps or whatever, and some people need to have that. I understand and I honor where you are at. But I've also understood that I'm the type of person who I think is, there's two restaurants, I'll put it this way. One restaurant says, hey, we can have a table for you, but you gotta wait 2 hours. Where another restaurant across the street is like, yo, we already got the table ready for you. We even got the food ready for you on the table, so just come ahead and sit when you need to. I'm all for the restaurant across the street that's taking the 2 hours at some point in time providing a table. But until that gets done, I'm going to a restaurant across the street that's got the table already prepared for me, all right? So I said with content creators and representation, I go to the people who are already putting out that stuff instead of vying and hoping for this part over here to acknowledge me. But it's because of the experiences I've had growing up where I didn't have the acknowledgement. I felt invisible. And I said, I'm going to just go over people who make me feel visible because one, my self-esteem is not platinum, and that can mess you up after a time if you're constantly in those kind of spaces. But I've learned I've had to reinvent and reimagine how I see and think about the world, right? Even when we get a recast on a soap, they completely reinvent the character. They do. It's like when we look at Sunny, we see Freddie Wilson's Sunny was a little self-righteous, Zach Tinker's Sonny was a little more vulnerable. I felt there's more of a vulnerability to him, right? Hunter Taylor was sometimes playing a victim most of the time, and then self-righteous. This Taylor is more vulnerable. She's more open. She's adventurous. She makes mistakes. It's different. And also that could just be the nature of soaps these days. But we reinvent ourselves any chance that we get. There never is a one size fits all. In one part of your life you can be doing one career, and the next part of life you can be doing another career. Don't put yourself in a box, and don't put yourself on a schedule. You can always reinvent yourself and like it's even with soaps when they retcon things to change a character, to reinvent the character, right? Because even sometimes actors that get tired of playing the same thing. We have to do that. Right now, GH is being reinvented in my eyes, if you ask me. People are not used to GH being an ensemble cast. They're not. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all not used to it. Y'all not used to this. Y'all was getting gunshots every week on the Bob Guzza days, every Friday. So that kept y'all distracted. Now we don't have gunshots every week. So now the things that y'all didn't notice back then, you notice it now with GH. All right? And that's what you get for letting one like to get canceled. But you always get the chance to reinvent yourself and be a different person. But it's still the same you. Even when you're married, even in a relationship with someone for years, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, they get a different part of you every time. You don't stay the same. No one does, except the dead person. Except the dead person. That's the only type of person that stays the same. But Stefano DiMera taught me that. You reinvent yourself. You reincarnate into the form that you want. Stefano's spirit was so strong you couldn't kill it. Even people who are just not watching Days and they don't know who the hell Stefano is, they know who he is at the same time. It's like they don't know who he is, but they know who he is at the same time. His spirit is that strong of a character. It's that strong. We've had other patriarchs and other shows, and they've gone, and you miss them, but you don't really think about them too much. But Stefano's imprint is there. It's there in all his children. And the reincarnation is symbolic, obviously. It's very symbolic. So you can be that person that you see yourself being. And the way you see yourself is usually the way people respond to you in life. People will also accept you to the extent to which you accept yourself. I'm telling you, it never fails. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Soap Sanctuary. The Soap Sanctuary will return in just a moment right here on YouTube. This has been Soap Sanctuary.